members of the Central Waqf Council, majority of the members of the Central Waqf Council are non-Muslims, maybe non-Muslims.
Because majority of
The members of the Waqf Council may be non-Muslims. It's 12A.
the
Under this it is. There is section 9, Malads, related to,
council
yes, Central Waqf Council.
would be non-Muslim.
Majority can be non-Muslim.
Can be or would be.
It can be, Malads. That means they will have a majority if they choose to nominate, Malads.
Can be non-Muslims.
Yes. And on the calculation, it is 12 non-Muslims and 8 Muslims. Not sorry? And 10, sorry, 12 and 10, not 8.
12
And
non-Muslims.
12 non-Muslims, 10 Muslims. And nominated. And then section 14 also, Malads, relates to
This is section.
14, relates to the composition of the board.
So this council is.
This is 9. This is section 9. 14 is for the board,
And 23 for the CEO.
composition of the board. Earlier, Malads, the board members were elected under the previous act. And they were all Muslims. And now, Malads, it's fully,
Elected by whom?
and now it's elected by the various organizations through which they came. I'll just show to your lordships that. Electoral colleges, Malads, of Muslims. They elected members, they were all Muslims. Now they're all nominated.
In the boards,
Yes, on the board, all nominated.
even in this Central Waqf Council also.
Yes, yes, yes. Those were also nominated under the previous acts. But they were Muslims. There the majority was 12 to 10, as I told your lordships. Here they are all nominated.
In the,
And
in the board.
yes, all nominated. And it will be 7 to 11. 7 will be maximum, will be non-Muslims. 11 will be non-Muslims.
11,
It will be total,
7 can be.
11 total, 7 can be non-Muslims. But all nominated. So the electoral college process has been done away. So they were, in a way, they conceptually capture the waqfs. They expropriate the property.
Out of 11, 7
Can be
non-Muslim.
non-Muslims.
Can be.
Yes. And all nominated. So, Mullah, that itself is violative of 25 and 26. Your lordship knows management has to be done by the community.
Well, also the CEO.
Yes.
CEO.
Yes, yes. And then section 23, the CEO is to be appointed by the state government.
CEO of the.
CEO of the board shall be appointed by the state government who actually runs the board. And he'll also be a non-Muslim. Earlier Muslim, now non-Muslim. So the government will, in fact,
It's not mentioned non-Muslim, I think it should.
no, it just says nominee of the state government.
That's right, only nominee,
Yes.
can even be a Muslim. That's for them.
Earlier it said Muslim, has to be Muslim.
They were specifically.
Yes,
required.
that's why I'm saying, Manas. It's an absolute departure. Original says there shall be a full-time executive officer who shall be a Muslim. Therefore, Manas, all I'm giving your lordships is that this has nothing to do with all the legislations that happened earlier. This is an absolute departure and an attempt to take over through creeping acquisition waqf properties.
This
and-
is the section
This is 23.
23, Manas.
23.
23. So broadly, Malats, broadly, these are the issues. Right? Get out for the moment. There are other issues, Malats, but what is this?
Today we have
Only,
for the interim relief.
that's right, that's right. Now, Malats, now,
The presumption is with regard to the constitutionality.
that's correct.
And
And
normally the court should not
correct,
say the,
correct, absolutely.
so unless you make out a very, very
Strong case.
hearing case.
Yes, correct. And your lordships have done it in the past, so I won't go into that at the moment. Now, let's kindly have a look at the act now. I'll demonstrate each
We are
one.
not saying we are powerless, but then the case which has to be made out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Which is why I'm trying, Manoj. Which is why I'm trying.
Otherwise, the presumption is with regard to
Of course.
constitutionality of a statute.
But what,
That's the law which we have been taught from the colleges.
The problem is you have to decide it on
And,
the basis.
and in the light of the
But on the earlier occasion when the matters were heard, your lordships were pleased to earmark 3 issues. And I filed my affidavit, my lord, on these 3 issues. The written submissions filed by the petitioners, my lord, contain several other issues, my lord.
Yes.
Lord, my apologies, my lord. Initially, my lord, when the matters were heard, there were 3 issues identified for the purpose of stay.
That's not
Because
true.
prayer is praying stay of the statute. Lord, I have filed my affidavit mentioning specifically that in view of the discussion which took place, I am filing this reply for the 3 issues. But the written submissions have come, which deals with, my lord, many other provisions also. My request would be, my lord, that kindly confine it to the 3 issues as already identified.
Well, I'm sorry, Malad. This is entirely, I'm sorry to say my great regard for my learned friend, Malad. Matter was listed earlier, then it came up later saying, the judge saying that the Chief Justice said, I will hear the matter and see what further interim orders are to be passed.
No,
That's how
my
the
lord,
matter
all of
came
us
up.
were there.
I don't want, Malad,
All of us
we
were
have,
there.
we have made our submissions. We gave them in time to him. Malad, those matters are already in the petition, Malad. My learned friend can't say that I will only argue on 3 issues, Malad. I'm going to argue on the issues, Malad, that are in fact most important in the case, because this is a case of capture of the entire Waqf properties. That's what it is. But Malad, I'm going to argue on all the issues. My learned friend can't say. He can.
Lordships cannot be asked to have a piecemeal hearing. The lordships really cannot be asked to have a piecemeal
You
hearing.
hear it on this?
Substantive issues. 7, 8, 6,
Piecemeal,
7.
Lord, court
My learned
cannot
friend says
just
confined to
bifurcate.
3. That is my request.
hearing only on the question of grant of interim.
Correct. That's also broadly, Malad, I tell your lordship that.
On 3 points, I have said, my lord, contemporaneously in my affidavit in reply, para 4, that at the outset it is respectfully submitted.
Where is that order? Where is that order?
But if you say that-
Only a minute, Mr. Sibal.
No, but you are saying there's an order of the court. The
Please
court said
allow-
that.
This is not disputed, it is stated on
His
affidavit
statement was
by an
limited.
officer who was present in the court, filing a prelim only to deal with the issues flagged during the earlier hearing on 16th April 25.
We were there, Malad.
This is contemporaneously filed, contemporaneously reported everywhere. I leave it to your lordship. I wanted to flag this, but this may not be fair to the court
Because
and fair to the.
neither of us is party to those. We are not aware of what happened.
There was no truncation of issues.
There is none, Malad. In fact, the order said,
No
we
discussion.
clarify. We clarify that the hearing fixed on the next date will be a preliminary hearing, and if required, interim orders will be passed.
Let's
This is
read,
nothing
my
to
lord,
do
the
with
first
issues.
order. Let's read
Limiting
the
of it.
first order. My lord, the first order which Mr. Sibal is reading, 17th April
Yes, yes,
25.
yes.
Yes, I'm reading that. please.
Please do.
Lord, can I read, my lord? I'll just read, my lord, and leave it at that, my lord. This can't be not that we don't have answer to other questions, but this would be unfair to the court and unfair to the other side. During the course of the hearing, Mr. So-and-so, that is myself, stated that respondent would like to file a response within a period of 7 days from today. He assures this court that till the next date of hearing, no appointments would be made to the Central Waqf Council and Waqf boards. That was the first issue flagged, section 9 and section 14 respectively. Then, my lord, I'm skipping because that's section 19, 14, etc. is mentioned. It is also stated that till the next date of hearing, no waqf, including a waqf by user, whether declared by way of notification or by way of registration, shall be denotified. My lord, this is pertaining to section 3R, where, my lord, we have deleted the waqf by user prospectively from hereafter. We take these statements on record, rejoinder to be filed. Thereafter, my lord, the court directs that 5 will be the lead petitions. And it was 7 days because, my lord, it was 3 issues, my lord. And thereafter, my lord, the court at the
My
end
lord-
said, we clarified that the hearing fixed on the next date will be a preliminary hearing, and if required, interim orders will be
That's all.
passed.
That's all.
My lord, this is what, my lord, all of us were present.
So were
The
we.
court had flagged these issues, but my lord, I don't wish to,
My
my
lord-
lord, embarrass the bench. It
Can
would be
we-
unfair, my lord, that's all I'm saying.
Can we go into that? Because if you are saying, all of us are saying that it was decided they will deny it and we can't go
The
now.
denial would be unfortunate, but my
Well,
lord, I
in
don't
fact, the
want to.
statement is unfortunate, not the denial.
And we can't go and ask our other
No, sir.
colleagues.
My lord, I don't wish, my lord, your lordship.
We will have to go by whatever is the record.
Yes, my lord, but I have said on affidavit that since these three issues were flagged, my reply is confined to three issues.
Mullards, what happened was in a
And there is no
fairly-
denial in
My
the
learned
rejoinder.
friend will realize what happened was the court came and the court said, look, give me an answer on these three. The court did not say, and that's why the court later said, you please argue the whole matter, and that's why it was fixed for interim orders.
The afternoon
That
hearing
was an
time was
afternoon. Well, we-
brought. It's not that there were truncation of issues like this. This was done. It was then for continuation, in fact, for extending the orders on other points, either way. Not any limitation. of-
Anyway, as it is, we have paucity of time. Let's go on with the matter.
Plus today, the written submission is as virtually reading, arguing the entire repetition itself, with all due respect. When the reply is confined only to three issues, plus their written submissions.
We have given them 2 hours. They have to decide as to how they will
That's what,
provide in the order sheet.
Yes, my lord, we sometimes trust, my lord, the other side will not take.
come on,
the
I mean,
other side.
no,
That's an unfortunate
For the-
statement to make.
I don't know why.
That's an
Let's,
unfortunate.
Anyway,
Mr. Mehta,
I leave it to, my lord, let them argue.
I'm feeling happy that I have only 6 more months left here.
We are not happy, my
So
lord.
my experience of 18 years in the High Court,
We have-
compared to the 6 years here, has been much, much better.
My lord, that I can also say, my lord, for High Court, my lord, because I have also come from High Court, so is my learned friend.
but those practices are not being followed here, Mullards, despite the fact that people come from the High Court.
Yes, my lord. So we learn wrong things, my lord, from our seniors.
That's the problem.
Yes.
Anyway, Mullards, I think
Then let's proceed, yes.
let's proceed. No, Mullards, kindly just leave your paper book for the moment. I'll tell your lordships what the contours of my submission are. Mullards, this is a case in which the 2025 Act has been framed, Mullards, for the purposes of protection of waqfs. But in reality, it is designed to capture waqf.